Hello, YouTubians. It's Del Rugby PM, and I'm going live for really the first time where I'm actually trying to go live. And I had a fancy, nice background, and I had a nice thumbnail, and I lost it all. Just my PC won't allow me to do it. I can't go live with it. It's the Forrest Fenn Treasure. The Forrest Fenn Treasure was found. And I don't know, many of you probably know about it. I know about it from Cull Silver, a friend of mine from Austin, Texas, who spent probably the last 4 or 5 summers going out looking for it. He knew that it was somewhere near Santa Fe, New Mexico, and evidently that's where it was found. I was trying to talk him into um, inviting me out to go. He's going out there with all his Marine buddies instead of me. But I was hoping to be able to go out with him to go look for it. He went out every summer on a motorcycle ride to go looking for it. And who knows, maybe it was him. It's possible that it was Cull. Say, go look at it because he explained in detail all about the treasure. He explained how the poem was written and what it meant, and really how you could go. I think that the only person that's more fascinated with this than me would be the IRS. I don't see anybody joining in, but that's okay. This is kind of a learning opportunity for me to learn how to go live anyway. So good morning, United States. Good evening, Qatar. I'll wait a couple minutes to see if anybody wants to join. But yeah, the conversation is about Forrest Fenn and the treasure that he left to get people to go outdoors and to be. At the time that he hit it, he was 70. I think he's 80 years old now. So that's the story to hear from you. So I guess while I'm waiting for people to join in on the conversation, I'll tell you a little bit more about it. So he talked about, and I'll read the poem about it. But he talked about um, how you could go find the treasure, and he talked about really specifically where it was located. It's a fascinating poem. I'm looking for it right now so I can read it to you guys. Mostly gold that he buried in this box, this treasure box. Can you imagine finding this treasure box? I couldn't. I would just be ecstatic if I could find it. So I'm looking for the details on the news right now so I can talk about it. Let's see. Well, I found a news story and it's in German. In den Rocky Mountains ist nach 10 Jahren ein modern Schatzkatze zu Inge gegangen. Der Kunst. Anyway, so here's something from the Greeley Tribune from Greeley, Colorado. Although I believe it's probably it was found in the Colorado, New Mexico, Arizona, Utah. So Forrest Fenn's treasure was found, and it's supposed to be worth $1 million. So near Santa Fe, it was a bronze chest filled with gold, jewels, and other valuables, estimated to be worth over $1 million. So it's been in the Rocky Mountains now, in this wilderness area, for over 10 years. Forrest Fenn's now 89. He's from well, actually, I don't know where he's from. I think he's from Wyoming. But he told in an interview in the Santa Fe New Mexican Sunday that he did not know the name, but the man was from back east. Now, Cull Silver, he's east of Santa Fe. He's from outside of Austin, Texas. But he's originally from the Northern California area. I guess that's where he got his gold bug initially. I'm suspecting it was Cull Silver who found it because it's summertime. This is when he goes every year, going looking for it. He found it. So unless Cull Silver tells me he didn't find it, I'm assuming he did. Cull Silver, just a little bit about him. He was a Marine. He was a jarhead, double dog, all that good stuff. He's the guy that makes those really cool silver coin rings. He made a couple for my daughters. Now, recently, he's gotten into um, um, collecting numismatic, I guess you would call it, quality currency, bills. Um, so before he got into the high tech area where he is now, he also for survivors, and you probably know what that means. So he is a good guy. Cull Silver's got one of the best channels. If you ever want to see or learn about gold and silver, I highly suggest you go see him. Um, and I want all of you to read the story of the treasure and watch the Vaucluse. He packed and repacked his treasure more than a decade. So he went and looked for it every year, and then he re-hit it every year, I guess, to make sure that he knew if it was still there. And he would sprinkle gold dust and other hundreds of rare gold and gold nuggets, prehistoric mirror with rubies and emeralds. So that was all in this bronze treasure chest. So he told the New Mexican, which is a newspaper in Santa Fe, back in 2017, that the chest weighs 20 pounds or 9 kilos, and its content was another 22 pounds or 10 kilos. So it has 10 kilos of gems and precious. Well, if he's 89 now, then he was 79 when he did it. So he wrote a 24-line poem that he published back in 2010 called The Thrill of the Chase. And The Thrill of the Chase is the poem that details how to find the treasure chest. So anyway, Finn told people at the newspaper that he doesn't know how it was found. He says he's glad, but he's sad that the chase is over. Now, it's rumored, or it's been said, that 6 or 7 people have been seriously injured or died looking for it. I don't know if that's true or not, but it's become a bit of a folklore. People go out every summer looking for it. And again, Cull Silver, if you're the guy who did it, if you found it, then congratulations. I want to see it. It looks like there's nobody else watching it, though. So I had to say that my foray into live is here, right? Yeah. So I'm looking at the chat, and the top chat in it is nothing. And the only person watching now is me. Oh well, that's life. So they say you've got to have 10 to. I really like Sally's live shows a lot, and he's got, God, I don't know, 25,000 followers. So I think that with my measly 3,000 followers, I'm probably not the best person to do these live broadcasts, but I wanted to dip my toes in the water and see about it, and I really wanted to talk about this treasure of Forrest Fenn. So if any of you are out there and you know Cull Silver, buzz him and tell him to log in, and unless he says it wasn't me who found it, then I'm assuming he's the one who found it. So me an hour to figure it out because I couldn't do it on my PC. Don't know why. I wanted to do it on my PC, and then I lost all of the nice little thumbnails and stuff that I had created when I created this thing. So I had to go to my mobile phone. Anyway, next time I hope I do a better job, and next time I hope that I spend more time on the live and less time on the setup. I do a lot of video calls every day for work, and one of the tools I use is Zoom. And Zoom has this really cool thing where you can make a background. So I was hoping I could do something like that with live on YouTube, but I just couldn't figure it out. So I'm hoping to maybe get somebody to give me a tutorial to show me how to do a background so I can do more of these. I'm not buying any gold or silver right now, unfortunately, and as many of you know, I had to sell all the gold that I had because of some medical emergencies in my family. Thank God I had it, right? But don't have any gold or silver anymore to show you. Don't have much in the terms of precious metals, but I still enjoy it immensely, and do hope to at some point start purchasing again. I'm hoping that it falls to $1 an ounce for silver and $100 an ounce for gold, so I can start stacking like the Golden Pharaoh. If any of you remember him, gosh, 10 years ago, he had the best stacking videos out there, or stack like Cull Silver, or some of the other guys, Big Stacks McGee. Hopefully, I can start getting some gold together sometime if I can keep my job. I work in Qatar, as many of you know, and they laid off 20% of our staff. I don't know if that's confidential or not. I saw it in the newspaper, so I guess I'm allowed to say it. So I'm lucky I survived, but I have no idea if I'll survive another week, month, or year, or even day. It's really tense right now all over the Middle East because gas and oil prices have plummeted. Because I don't know how long I'll be able to stay here. I'm hoping I can stay here long enough to completely get out of debt. As many of you know, I have in the medical industry for a while, and she was working as a dental nurse, and so I used to get these crowns. So that's about all the precious metal I have at this point in time, and what I need to do is them, then I can process them. I got a few more. It's a pretty big crown. That's a heavy one. So I probably got, in terms of the precious metal, here, of precious metal. Most of this I found out from getting a and palladium, not platinum, palladium, and a little bit of gold and silver as well. Here's another big one that's in here. So I've got a whole lot of these. So the first step that I'm going to do, and I'll show a video of it, is I'm going to crush these. I'll crush them in a vise. The actual tooth that's on these, I'll have to put some sanitizer on now. I'll use a vise to get rid of the actual tooth that's still on in some cases, a hammer to pound it down to get it into a malleable form. And the more malleable it is, the better. That to me means, oh, there's a lot more gold. Hydrochloric acid and but I stopped doing that. I'll tell you why. When I did that, it stripped away some of the non-noble metals. Actually, that was just with sulfuric acid, period. So what I did was I did the two of them, which put it into a liquid form, but it's really hard. If you don't have a lab, you don't have the proper PPE, it's really hard to process it. So at this point, I'm just gonna try to get done before I've got a couple of those, and then when I get back to the US, I'll find somebody. I've got maybe 150 grams of silver in a block that I melted. I've got maybe 90 grams of gold, and then I've got 120 or 130 grams of this blob of platinum, palladium, rhodium, and gold and silver that I've put together. So that's really it. So I wanted to just bring it to everybody's attention that the Forrest Fenn treasure has been found. Congratulations, Cull Silver, if you're the guy who found it. And I wish you all good luck and happy hunting in your endeavors to find hunting, looking in the Queen Stars to see what's rejected in the reject bin, or metal detecting, which is a lot of fun, or processing and salvaging gold and silver from things like electronics, or from bridges, dental bridges and dental crowns, which I like to do as well. In your life, along with some property and some brass, then that's good. You should have lots of brass right now too, just in case anybody wants to infringe on your rights. So anyway, so that's Del Ruby PM over and out, or the Golden Rule, as some of you know me as. Thank you. Now to turn it off. Do you want to stop your streaming?